The news got out somehow. It was said that she confided in some women and then they exposed her secret. And Allah Ta'ala said, وَقَالَ نِسْوَةٌ فِي الْمَدِينَةِ امْرَأَةُ الْعَزِيزِ تُرَاوِدُ فَتَاهَا عَنْ نَفْسِهِ. The women of the city said, Aziz's wife seduces her slave boy despite himself. قَدْ شَغَفَهَا حُبًّا. She's fallen madly in love with him. Her love for him has gotten under the flap of her heart. إِنَّا لَنَرَاهَا فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. We see that she is clearly lost. Being the woman she is, the popular, rich figure in society, she would lower herself like this? She's crazy. So that was the wives and the daughters of the upper class of the Egyptians. They heard about her recklessness and they started gossiping about her. فَلَمَّا سَمِعَتْ بِمَكْرِهِنَّ أَرْسَلَتْ إِلَيْهِنَّ وَأَعْتَدَتْ لَهُنَّ مُتَّكَأً. And when she heard of their deceit, which was their gossiping, she sent word for them, and she invited them, and she prepared a lounge for them. وَآتَتْ كُلَّ وَاحِدَةٍ مِّنْهُنَّ سِكِّينًا. And she gave each one of those women a knife. وَقَالَتِ اخْرُجْ عَلَيْهِنَّ. And she said to Yusuf, go out in front of them. فَلَمَّا رَأَيْنَهُ أَكْبَرْنَهُ وَقَطَّعْنَ أَيْدِيَهُنَّ وَقُلْنَ حَاشَ لِلَّهِ. And then when they saw him, they deemed him astonishing. And they cut their own hands. They were distracted by his beauty. They were cutting their food. And when he came out in front of them, they were so distracted by his beauty that they started cutting their own hands. وَقُلْنَ حَاشَ لِلَّهِ مَا هَذَا بَشَرًا إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا مَلَكٌ كَرِيمٌ. And they said, God forbid, this is no human. This is but a noble angel. It was said that she invited 40 women. She prepared pillows for them, and she made a setting that's becoming of their social status. She wanted them to sit back and start cutting their food and then be dazzled when he comes out. قالت فذلكن الذي لمتنني فيه. She said, this is the Canaanite slave boy that you had delusions about, that you slept on me about him. You thought I was slipping. She meant to say, you hadn't conceived his reality, or else you would have excused me for being tempted by something like this. And by God, I attempted to seduce him despite himself, and he had the nerve to refrain. She confessed that Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam refrained. She said, فَاسْتَعْصَمْ. He held back, and she said it in a way that gives emphasis. وَلَئِن لَّمْ يَفْعَلْ مَا آمُرُهُ لَيُسْجَنَنَّ وَلَيَكُونًا مِّنَ الصَّاغِرِينَ. And by God, if he does not do what I command, then surely he will certainly be imprisoned with the thieves and the murderers and the runaway slaves. Just as he stole my heart and he fled from me and he slew me by turning me down. There, in the prison, he will not have any wholesome food or any refreshing drink, and he won't have any relaxing sleep just as he prevented me from all of that because of my heart being infatuated with him. Whoever doesn't accept someone like me as a prince on a bed with silk sheets will find himself in regret on a dusty mat. So when Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam heard her threat, قال رب السجن أحب إلي مما يدعونني إليه. He said, my Lord, prison is more beloved to me than that to which they invite me. وَإِلَّا تَصْرِفْ عَنِّي كَيْدَهُنَّ أَصْبُ إِلَيْهِنَّ. If you do not divert from me their scheme, I would incline towards them. أَصْبُ إِلَيْهِنَّ وَأَكُمْ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. I would incline towards them, and I would be among the ignorant. So, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he resorted to his Lord, and he made dua, and he said, "Oh Allah, I would prefer to go to prison than to sin." And he confessed that his impeccability and protection from the sin was only from Allah and not from himself. And he asked Allah Ta'ala to save him. And it was said that he mentioned all of the women here when he said, "Mimma yad'unani ilayh," from what they are calling me to. Because the women said to him, yes, obey your mistress. Do what she tells you to do. And because each one was calling him to herself when she got the chance. فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ فَصَرَفَ عَنْهُ كَيْدَهُنَّ. So his Lord answered him and diverted their scheme from him. إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Surely he is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Allah answered his dua and saved him from that scheme, that immediate trouble that he was in. ثُمَّ بَدَا لَهُم مِّن بَعْدِ مَا رَأَوُا الْآيَاتِ لَيَسْجُنُنَّهُ حَتَّى حِينٍ. Then it occurred to them afterwards, after they saw that it looks like a big scandal's going to happen and Zalicha is going to be exposed. So they decided to put Yusuf in prison for a time, to put him in prison for now and see what happens. And it was said that Zalicha was the one who got her husband to put Yusuf in prison, because her husband would do whatever she asked him to do. She wanted to break Prophet Yusuf's will, alayhi salatu wassalam, and bring him under her whims. Or because she was conquered by embarrassment and she was pained by being hopeless of ever getting Yusuf. So she wanted to cover up the situation by locking him up. Or it could even be that she wanted to relieve herself by not having to see him, so she had him jailed. So they locked him up to see what would happen. Someone had a question that they wanted to ask?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Yes.
Quick question. In the reference of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it's mentioned that our prophet is the best in looks. Is it mentioned that Prophet Yusuf is number 2 in looks, or do we consider all 5 of the prophets, the top 5, better looking than Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam?
MashaAllah. I'm glad you asked me that because I wanted to mention the case about the beauty of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the beauty of Yusuf. So, as much as I know, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the most beautiful prophet, and I haven't heard about the order of the prophets in beauty. Some people might deny that Prophet Muhammad is more beautiful than Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, but there's a hadith that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Ma ba'atha Allahu nabiyyan illa hasan al-wajhi hasan as-sawt wa inna nabiyyakum ahsanuhum wajhan wa ahsanuhum sawta." It means Allah never sent a prophet except with a beautiful face and a nice voice. With a nice face and a nice voice. Illa hasan al-wajhi hasan as-sawt. Except that that prophet would be nice of face and nice of voice. Wa inna nabiyyakum, and certainly your prophet, ahsanuhum wajhan wa ahsanuhum sawta. He is the best of them in face and the best of them in voice. The beauty of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, it was not superior to the beauty of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. However, the beauty of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was covered in awe. It means the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he had so much presence and charisma that a person is struck by his presence before he's struck by his beauty. This doesn't negate that Muhammad's beauty is more than Yusuf's beauty, alayhi salatu wasalam. But for sure, a person would see Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and he would be stunned. If he would lay eyes on him, he would be stunned or shocked or taken aback. Because of all of what he is beholding. MashaAllah. Sallallahu alayhi wa ala ikhwanihi nabiyyin wa sallam. Okay. Any other question? Just turn the mute off. وَدَخَلَ مَعَهُ السِّجْنَ فَتَيَانِ, and two young men entered the prison with him. Those were two slaves of the king. They were imprisoned at the same time as Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam. One was the head baker, and the other one was in charge of the king's beverages. And they were both accused of attempting to poison the king. And on the same night, they saw a dream. قال أحدهما إني أراني أعصر خمرا. So the one who tended to the beverages, he said, I see myself in my dream squeezing wine. I'm squeezing the grapes to make wine. I see in my dream 3 branches of grapevines. Bundles of grapes are sprouting and ripening. I am taking the grapes and squeezing the juice out of them and pouring it into the master's cup. وَقَالَ الْآخَرُ إِنِّي أَرَانِي أَحْمِلُ فَوْقَ رَأْسِي خُبْزًا تَأْكُلُ الطَّيْرُ مِنْهُ. And the other said, I saw myself in my dream. I am carrying bread on my head, and the birds are eating from the bread. I am carrying 3 baskets of bread on my head, and the raptors were eating from the upper basket. So they said it like it's happening, because that's what the people do when they talk about their dreams, right? They say, I saw myself in my dreams, so I'm doing this, and then I see that. نبئنا بتأويله إنا نراك من المحسنين. Tell us what these dreams mean. You are an expert at that, and you are a good doer. And Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he told the inmates that he could explain dreams. And they saw how good he was. They saw his good habits, his exquisite behavior, and his abundance of attractive worship. They were very impressed with him. That's why, brothers and sisters, and I remind myself, display the manners of a good Muslim. And this is one of the best ways to help people embrace Islam. Our religion is very attractive when it is practiced properly, mashallah, moderately. They told him, explain our dreams for us. You are so good to the inmates in the prison. You tend to the sick people. You console the disheartened people, the people who are depressed, and you give a lot to the poor. Be generous to us also and explain our dreams for us. So at that moment, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he took advantage of the fact that they were looking up to him and coming to him and asking him for something. And so at that time, he told them that actually he's a prophet and that he comes with the religion of Islam. Allah said, قال لا يأتيكما طعام ترزقانه إلا نبأتكما بتأويله قبل أن يأتيكما. He said, no food by which you are sustained shall come to you except that I will have explained to you its interpretation before it comes to you. Yani, I will explain to you what it is. I will tell you what is that before you get it. ذَلِكُمَا مِمَّا عَلَّمَنِي رَبِّي. He's saying, that's a miracle that I can do. Any food that comes to you, I'll tell you. Before you get it, I'll tell you what it is. That's because I am a prophet, and Allah reveals that to me. إِنِّي تَرَكْتُ مِلَّةَ قَوْمٍ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَهُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ كَافِرُونَ. Surely I have rejected the religion of any people who do not believe in Allah. And in the afterlife, they are disbelievers. My religion is the religion of believing in Allah and believing in the afterlife. وَاتَّبَعْتُ مِلَّةَ آبَائِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ. And my religion is the religion of the prophets, the religion of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. I am a Muslim, and they are the messengers of Allah. And of course, there were messengers before them, and there will be messengers after them. ما كان لنا أن نشرك بالله من شيء. We would never associate anyone or anything with Allah. Allah made us impeccable. The prophets, we are impeccable. And we would never worship someone other than Allah. ذلك من فضل الله علينا وعلى الناس ولكن أكثر الناس لا يشكرون. That is from the endowment of Allah upon us and upon those who follow our religion. ذَلِكَ مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ عَلَيْنَا. That's the endowment of Allah upon us, the prophets. وَعَلَى النَّاسِ. And that's the endowment upon the people who follow the prophets and have their religion. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَشْكُرُونَ. However, most of the people are not thankful. They do not appreciate the endowment of Allah upon them. Rather than appreciating Allah's endowment, they worship other than Him. They commit shirk. And they're heedless. They don't think that they're making a mistake by worshiping something other than the Creator. So you see Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he's not explaining their dreams for them now. Rather, he took the opportunity to give them da'wah first. Didn't the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam do that when the people came to him and they said, جِئْنَاكَ لِنَتَفَقَّهَ فِي الدِّينِ وَلِنَسْأَلَكَ عَنْ بَدْءِ هَذَا الْأَمْرِ مَا كَانَ. We came to you to learn the knowledge of the religion and to ask you about the beginning of the creation. So he told them, كَانَ اللَّهُ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ شَيْءٌ غَيْرُهُ. He told them about what's more important than what they were asking about. They asked about the creation, and first he told them about the Creator. That's called uslubul hakim, the style of the wise. That's a type of eloquence in speech. So you see that the Prophet had that, alayhi salatu wasalam, Prophet Muhammad and Prophet Yusuf, alayhi salatu wasalam, he had that, and I ask Allah Ta'ala to give us that. Ameen. يا صاحبي السجن أأرباب متفرقون خير أم الله الواحد القهار. O you two inmates of the prison, are dispersed numerous lords better, or Allah, the one without a partner, the dominator who has power over everything? Which one makes more sense? To believe in many gods and worship many different things and associate partners with the Creator, or to believe in one Creator who has power over everything and has no partner? He has no partner means he has no similar. The unique one who has power over everything. ما تعبدون من دونه إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان. He said, you don't worship instead of Allah anything but names that you and your fathers have designated. Names that Allah gave you no permission or authority to use. Meaning, you are worshiping things that you called gods while they don't deserve that name. It's like you're worshiping names that don't have anything that go to them. It's like you're worshiping names that don't name anything, because these names of gods, this name doesn't apply to what you have worshipped. You and your fathers did that from yourselves. Inil hukmu illa lillah. The ruling and the permission to worship and to take a religion, it belongs only to Allah. أمر ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه. He commanded that you do not worship but Him. Worship Him alone. ذلك الدين القيم ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. That is the straight religion. That's the religion of Islam, the religion that Allah commanded the people to follow, the religion of the prophets, but most of the people don't know. They don't know, most of the people don't know that Islam is the correct religion. Then, after he talked to them about what was most important, he explained their dreams. يا صاحبي السجن أما أحدكما فيسقي ربه خمرا. O you two inmates of the prison, as for one of you, he will again pour wine for his master. وَأَمَّا الْآخَرُ فَيُصْلَبُ فَتَأْكُلُ الطَّيْرُ مِنْ رَأْسِهِ. As for the other, he will be crucified, and the birds shall eat from his head. Crucified doesn't have to mean that his arms are out. It means he will be killed on a pole. So then when the baker, the one who saw in his dream that the birds are eating from his head, or he saw in his dream that the birds are eating the bread that he's carrying on his head, and it was explained to him that this means that you will be executed and the scavengers will be eating away at your head. He said, I never saw anything. So then Yusuf said, alayhi salatu wassalam, قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ الَّذِي فِيهِ تَسْتَفْتِيَانِ. Finalized is the matter about which you have asked. It shall come to pass. وَقَالَ لِلَّذِي ظَنَّ أَنَّهُ نَاجٍ مِّنْهُمَا اذْكُرْنِي عِندَ رَبِّكَ. And he said to the one that he thought would be saved between the two of them, mention me to your master. فَأَنْسَاهُ الشَّيْطَانُ ذِكْرَ رَبِّهِ. But the devil made him forget to mention him to his master. فَلَبِثَ فِي السِّجْنِ بِضْعَ سِنِينَ. So he dwelled in the prison for several years.